The history of English in Bangladesh can be divided into three main phases of the political history of the nation. So the origin of English in the Indian subcontinent is linked to British colonial rule 1757 to 1957. Initially, English was language of trade between English factors and local go-betweens, with no commercial or institutional opportunities for its learning. The new policy created a huge demand for English, which also replaced Persian as the language of colonial administration. In reality, however, English learning was restricted to the elite since education of the masses was provided in local languages. When the British left in 1947, creating the new nations of India and Pakistan, there was an unbridgeable gulf between New English using elites and impoverished masses in both countries. The status of English in Bangladesh, ascertaining the current status of English in Bangladesh is not a simple task. This is mainly due to the absence of what is called status planning for English. There is no policy articulation about English that can be applied to the whole society. Although language questions have special significance in the social, cultural, and political life of the nation, language does not seem to have received commensurate policy investment. For example, the national education policy includes chapters on all conceivable forms of education, including adult and non formal education, women's education, religious and more education, and physical education, and legal education, but no chapter is dedicated to language or language education. Education is a key domain where English has an overarching presence, both as a language of learning and as a language in which students are expected to develop functional proficiency. However, given the inefficient cultivation of English in education, school English achievement is yet to have a significant impact on society. English also has a significant presence in Qumi Madrasa, another stream of madrasa education in the country. English is more dominant in private English medium education, which caters for a little less than 2% of the student population. Employment. The domain of employment does not allow for an easy or reliable assessment of the role of English. While jobs in certain sectors may require high levels of English proficiency and other communication skills, Bangla may suffice in many others. In general, English plays a more dominant role in the private sector than in the public sector. In media and entertainment, the role of English in media and entertainment is modest, as this sector uses mainly Bangla to cater to its domestic audience as well as the Bangladeshi diaspora around the globe. Hindi also has a significant role in entertainment, as Hindi music is quite common in public places. Hollywood films and Western music are a matter of private consumption among the privileged households. Information in Bangladesh is communicated mainly through Bangla, although a significant role in English is understandable for calling and processing news from overseas media outlets for local consumptions. In politics, Bangla is the language of political expression in Bangladesh. Using a language other than Bangla is the field can be considered politically incorrect with serious repercussions. All major political parties try to influence popular opinions by direct contact with people through political meetings and campaigns, protest, rallies, and other forms of mass gatherings, where Bangla is used as the only language of communication. Similarly, in what are known as the talk shows, discussions of politics and political affairs by academics, public intellectuals, and political commentators on all television channels is carried out in Bangla. The non-government organizations English has probably has the strongest presence in non-government organizations or the NGOs. The NGO Affairs Bureau, the government department for overseeing NGO operation in Bangladesh, listed over 2,600 such organizations as of November 2018. NGOs work in the areas of poverty alleviation, health, sanitation, microfinance, education, women's empowerment, human rights, environment, and minority issues. These are funded both locally and from overseas major. NGOs operating in Bangladesh include the Bangladesh Rural Advancement Committee or the BRAC, the largest NGO in the world, the Campaign for the Popular Education. Um, Although creative writing in English in the region dates back to the early 19th century, Bangladeshi writing in English or BWE has yet received notable recognition. British Bengal was the province of BWE, which is the oldest English language literary tradition in the subcontinent. The Hay Festival of Literature and Arts in Dhaka attracts crowds of promising literati and has apparently infused Bangladeshi authors writing in English. In BWE, there are writers who produce original pieces in English and then translate them into Bangla. Rukia Sakawat Hossain and Yumakan Kabir wrote Sultana's Dream and Men and Drivers in 1945, respectively in English, and then translated them into Bangla. Features of Bangladeshi English technology mediated innovations. Code mixing, code switching, and SMS text illustrate established business in Padar and English and Bangla to varying degrees to inform existing customers about products and set of two. Email communication in Bangladesh is characterized by the use of English. Mobile phone based short message service or the SMS constitutes another area of significant English use in Bangladesh. As elsewhere in South Asia, while emails are written mainly in English, SMS mixes Bangla and English and is often written in the Romanized script. Some government departments have started communicating notices and other information to their subscribers using SMS. They found various features of language use such as code mixing and code switching, local innovations, abbreviations, and rule breaking.